Hi there, I'm in Totodile, nice to meet you. I'm a freelancer artist from Italy, and for the longest time I wanted to make Pokemon challenges here on YouTube, so here I am with my first video. For my first playthrough I picked Pokémon Red, because I haven't played it in years, and the Pokémon of choice is Vaporeon. Eevee and all its evolutions are some of my favorite Pokémon ever, so it was an easy choice for me. Besides, I'm curious to see how Vaporeon, and by extent all the other Eevee evolutions, fare in the first gen, because I'm also going to play with Jolteon and Flareon in the future. I chose a solo run because I've never played one and I wanted to try it for myself. I usually play in Nuzlocke, so this time around it's nice having a Pokémon and not being afraid of losing it. So, since Pokémon in the Generation 1 games don't have a gender, I'm going to randomly assign them one, and it's a boy! For the fun of it, I'm assigning him a letter 2 to get him a personality, and it's Hardy! Okay, a hardy fish. It's going to be a fun challenge, I can feel it. So, his name is Fish and Chips, Chips for short, and he's the cutest fish on 4 legs out there, I don't make the rules. For Generation 1, Vaporeon's not bad. His statistics are good, and in a solo run it helps that his HP stat is so high. He's going to be a tough cookie. He's able to learn the TM Bubble Beam, which will attain quite early in the game, and the HM Surf will come in handy until he learns Hydro Pump at level 54. Not too bad for Generation 1. One more thing, I'll have to be careful not to overlevel him too much because Vaporeon is in the medium fast group and he's probably going to level up pretty fast. And we don't want that, otherwise what's the point of this challenge, am I right? The rules are pretty simple. I'm going to play on set mode, I'm going to use Vaporeon and only Vaporeon, HM slaves are okay, glitches are not allowed, but items in battle are. And now that the premise is out of the way, grab your favorite drink and snack and let's spawn in the Kanto region and take it by storm with Chips. I was around 7 when I first played Pokémon Red and the nostalgia is hitting pretty hard. Okay, so we start with Tackle, Sand Attack, Quick Attack and Water Gun. I'm just grateful we have a Water Stab move and a Priority move. Our first battle takes a while, but we emerge victorious and Chips is eager to start the gym challenge, so we run through the first routes and arrive at Viridian City to earn our first badge. To no one's surprise, Brock's Geodude and Onix don't stand a chance against Chips and they go down with a single water gun each. The Boulder badge is ours. We pass through Mount Moon and once outside we arrive in Cerulean City. Before going to the second gym, we'd like to explore first, so we head to Route 24. I do forget Gary ambushes us in front of the bridge though, so it's a nice surprise to see him this soon. I didn't remember he already has 4 Pokémon in his team, and we're both at level 18, so it's going to be fun. Or that's what I thought. Pidgeotto attacks first with Gust, and we retaliate with Water Gun. On the second turn, Pidgeotto doesn't attack and goes for Sand Attack instead, and it's enough to incapacitate Vaporeon for the rest of the battle. It's ridiculous how many times Chips misses. Luckily for us, Abra comes next and it spams Teleport. It still takes forever to defeat it. Next, Rattata goes down with a single hit. Last is Ivysaur. We attack with Water Gun and the damage we inflict is ridiculous. Our opponent, on the other hand, gets a crit on us, and even without that Sand Attack at the beginning of battle, it's clear we have to admit defeat. Chips is not one to give up though, so we drop in at the Pokémon Center and then we run to the closest patch of tall grass to grind and gain a couple of levels. As soon as Chips is level 20, we don't return to Gary but go to the gym instead. Don't ask me why. I consider Misty's gym the first true obstacle of this run. Since Chips shares type with Misty's Pokémon, his Water Gun won't deal much against Misty's Staryu and Starmie. On top of that, their special defense stats will make them an even greater challenge. So the battle begins, and sure enough, Chips does its best, but it's still a close call. Staryu's attacks don't affect Chips much, but the same can be said of our Vaporeon's hits. We use quick attack after quick attack until Misty uses X defend, so we're forced to use water gun instead, and even if it's not effective, it surprisingly gets the job done and Staryu's out cold. Next is Starmie. It's faster than us, and even if its first attack misses Chips, we barely scratch our opponent, while Chips takes more significant damage. Vaporeon does slowly chips away at Starmie's health with Tackle and Water Gun, and I have to use a couple of potions or we wouldn't be able to make it. And with a sprinkle of luck at the very end, Chips lands a critical hit on Starmie to show who's boss, and Misty's Pokémon fall down before Chips. We finally earned the Cascade badge, and now we return to our rival to get revenge. The second time's the charm. The defeat still burns and we're ready to do our worst. Chips at level 21, and this time we outspeed Pidgeotto. Take that, you fried chicken, it's time for fish and chips with a side of tasty revenge. Before fainting, Pidgeotto hits us with Sand Attack, and it's as annoying as the first time. Abra survives for too long, seriously, what the heck? And thankfully Rattata only takes one attack. Last but not least is Ivysaur. I'm already bracing for our second defeat, because Water Gun doesn't deal that much more compared to last time. With insane luck, our opponent goes for Growl and Tackle itself instead of using Grass attacks. When Ivysaur is at a third of its health, it does use Leech Seed, but it's too late. Leech Seed restores its health, but it remains in the death range, and Chips finally takes his revenge. And with a crit too. Chips, you drama queen. I did forget to teach him TM11 that we just got from Misty. Bubble Beam would have been such a better move than Water Gun, and it would have made the battle way easier. We would have one-shot the bird, therefore not getting hit by its sand attack, therefore not missing all those turns. Oops, Vaporeon is a champ anyway. We're free to explore now, and we beat most of the trainers along the way to Bill's house. There, the guy risks becoming Chip's new toy, but before that can happen, I help him turn back into a human. We're ready to return to Cerulean City, and now it's time to explore some more. Even Chips takes a break from all the carnage, once in a while. We travel to Vermilion City and head straight to SSN to get the HM cut, to continue with the adventure, and once again Gary's waiting for us, and this time that pesky Pidgeotto of his doesn't know what hit it. Chips doesn't give it a chance to use Sand Attack this time and knocks it out with one hit, so this battle goes much more smoothly than the last. Chips barely breaks a sweat against the rest of his team, and victory tastes so good, like fish and chips. Before boarding the cruise liner, I got an Abra, thinking it could use Cut, but my memory is so as soon as I'm back on land, I replace it with an Oddish. Now that we've got HM1, we make a detour into Diglett's cave, so we're back to Route 2 to get HM5 as well. Voltorb is the HM slave of choice for Flash. Never had it in my team in my 23 years of playing Pokemon, so why not, I guess. We head back to Vermilion City to battle Lieutenant Surge. His electric gym is the second obstacle in this run for our fish and chips. One Bubble Beam is enough to take Voltorb down, and Pikachu meets the same bubbly fate. Then it's time for Raichu to enter the battlefield. It outspeeds us, lands a crit, and it paralyzes Chip too. Incredibly, Chips battles through the paralysis and strikes back, and manages to lower Raichu's speed. Now Raichu goes for Thunder Shock instead of Thunderbolt? I don't know, maybe the rat underestimated us, but that was its last mistake, because Chips takes Raichu down. The rat's now Chips' shiniest chew toy, and the Thunder Badge is ours. What an intense battle! Chips very pleased with himself, and I'm super happy we got it with our first attempt. Oh, by the way, I haven't really set up a level cap for this challenge, but if this keeps up, Chips' level risks to become a problem later in the game and ruin the fun. I don't want to win this challenge because I'm over-leveled, so from now on I'll try to avoid as many trainers as I can. It's a pity really, and Chips would love the extra violence and experience points, but there's not much I can do in a solo run. In Celadon City, before heading to Erika's gym, we do some shopping in the city department store, where we trade TM13 Ice Beam for some fresh water, and then we head straight south. This gym uses grass types, and it's the one I fear the most in this run. Even with all those HP, Vaporeon is at a great disadvantage, and I hope Ice Beam gives us a fighting chance. Erika leads with Victory Bell, and Chip's attack nearly one-shots the plants. It does land a crit before succumbing to us though. Tangela goes down with a single attack, and last is Vileplume. Vileplume uses Petal Dance, and it's clear now I shouldn't have worried about Chips. Chips retaliates with another Ice Beam, and the battle's over. We get our hands and paws on the fourth badge, the Rainbow Badge, and we're out. More HM slaves join the party, Pidgeotto will be our flying taxi, while Nidoking will do all the heavy lifting with strength. Now, to be honest with you, the last battle didn't feel as hard won as I would have thought, so we go in search of trouble at the game corner. It's the place for us with all the Team Rocket grants, but eventually I have to skip most of them, otherwise Chips becomes too powerful and I need to keep him in check. We reach Giovanni, and as usual, battling against him is a piece of cake. Our Vaporeon almost falls asleep during the battle. Onix, Rhyhorn, and Kangaskhan don't even know what hit them. Once the battle's over, Giovanni runs away with his tail between his legs. We miss Gary, so next we go to the Pokémon Tower in Lavender Town. This time we ambush him for a change. Thanks to the level gap, it's pretty much an uneventful fight. Mid-battle, I have to prod Chips or he starts snoring off with how bored he is. Chips one-shots the fried chicken and Gyarados takes 2 super effective moves before going down. Next comes Kadabra. Gary's Abra has finally evolved, but it still doesn't stand a chance, not even Ivysaur. It's funny because Chips takes it out with a critical hit, just like last time. That was so extra. Chips, you really are a drama queen. Chips almost level 30 and I've only trained him a couple of times. Let me tell you, this fish is something else. We go straight to the 5th gym. Koga leads with Coughing and surprisingly it survives Chips' Bubble Beam, and when it's knocked out, Max come in. It's much bulkier and uses Minimize twice, so annoying, and even poisons Chips, but Chips isn't so easy to fool, and even if he misses the first time, the second attack hits and Max down. The second Coughing goes down with a crit, and now for Koga's strongest Pokemon, Weezing. I'm quite uneasy, knowing it has self-destruct, and of course Weezing goes for it on its second turn. Chips hangs on though, and the victory earns us the Marsh Badge. 3 more to go. Now that we can, I decide to collect HM Surf in the Safari Zone for our fish, and we also get HM Strength. We then take a pause from the gym challenge and head to Saffron City to steer some more trouble among Team Rocket. We barge in the Sylph Company building and Chips doesn't take mercy on anyone. I'm almost sorry for them. Okay, no, that's a lie, the word is safe for now. Anyway, once again we're up against Gary, and once again we're here to crush his dreams. If it weren't for the level advantage, I'm positive it would have been a fun battle. As usual, the fried chicken is first. Vaporeon barely feels Pidgeot's attack and his retaliation is quick and brutal. The bird dies, Gyarados dies, and Chips surfs on Growlithe's still warm body as Alakazam enters the battlefield. It withstands Vaporeon's surf, so Gary gives it a potion. Dude, are you okay? One quick attack is enough to defeat it. Ivysaur has evolved into Venusaur, but it doesn't last longer than a turn anyway. Chips uses Ice Beam and the battle's over. Next is Boss Rocket. Before the battle starts, Giovanni promises us a word of pain. Oh, so cute. Chips is not that impressed though. Giovanni and his team suffer the same fate as Gary and they are no match for us. Nidorino is first, then Kangaskhan, Rhyhorn, and finally Nidoqueen. Giovanni scurries away and we go talk to the Sylph Company president, who thanks us for saving the company. We return outside and I buy Chips some ice cream to lift his mood. We rush through the next gym, but when I'm in front of Sabrina I decide to backtrack to Celadon City to collect HM Fly as well, and then we're back in front of the gym leader. As soon as this battle's over, I have to buy Chips some more ice cream, because the battle for the Soul Badge is as disappointing as the battles against Gary and Giovanni. Sabrina's first Pokemon, Kadabra, goes down with one hit, and the same goes for Mr. Mime and Venomoth. Alakazam is the only one that hangs on and manages to deal damage back, but Chips keeps yawning throughout the battle and almost doesn't even realize the battle's soon over. At the end, we get the Soul Badge and Chips' chew toy collection keeps growing. Besides, he has finally learned the most powerful water move, Hydro Pump. Our fish is growing so fast, maybe too fast. Okay, listen, I've just imagined a giant squishy Vaporeon. How cute would that be? We travel back to Pallet Town and make our way to Cinnabar Island. To enter the gym, we have to explore the island mansion first to find a key to unlock the door, and together with the key we also find TM14, Blizzard, that will be extra helpful against the Elite Four. Chips doesn't hold back against Blaine and his team is KO in seconds. Chips takes down Growlithe, Ponyta and Rapidash, and to top it off he lands a critical hit against his strongest Pokémon, Arcanine. Easy peasy, we got the Volcano badge. Back in Viridian City, Giovanni stands no chance against our mighty Chips. He says he's the greatest trainer, but with how funny he is, he definitely makes for a much better comedian instead. His team members get knocked out one after the other, and without effort we get our final badge, the Earth badge. In celebration of finishing the gym challenge, Chips gets all the ice cream we find in town. Our final challenge is after Victory Road, the Pokémon League. But before that we have to fight Gary. Once more, his team is strongly outmatched, and I'm starting to fear the Pokémon League is going to be a walk in the park, and I'll have to buy Chips all the ice cream in Kanto and eventually go broke. And once again, Gyarados and Alakazam are the only ones that can withstand Chips' power, but they eventually go down after barely landing a scratch on our Vaporeon. Chips gets to level 59 mid-battle. At long last, after the battle is over, we march through Victory Road to stand in front of the Pokémon League. We're ready to prove ourselves against the strongest trainers in the Kanto region and take the title of champions for ourselves. Even if we don't succeed, it's been an honor to fight alongside Chips, and no matter what happens from here on, he'll forever be my fishy champion. Okay, enough dilly-dallying. It's time for some elite violence. Before that though, I stock up on healing items and give Chips all the iron, calciums, proteins, etc. I've collected along the journey. Plus a Pepsi, oh no wait, that's a PP up, to raise his Hydro Pump's power points by 1. In my pack I've got hyper potions, full restores, full heals, adders and elixirs, and all the rare candies in case we need them. As expected, we don't start off easy with Lorelei and her icy Pokémon. She leads with Dewgong. Chips goes for Budgie Slam, takes a good chunk of its health and even paralyzes him. Way to go, Chips! But I barely finished the sentence that the seal goes to sleep and heals itself. But luckily Chips isn't yawning anymore and lands a critical hit. Body Slam deals almost 1/4 of Cloyster's HP. Not bad. I'm sure we have victory in our pocket when Cloyster uses Supersonic. And Chips is now confused. He hurts himself in confusion once, then twice. Chips snaps out of it for real, only for Cloyster to use Supersonic again. Despite that, in true Fish and Chips fashion, he takes out his enemy with a critical hit. We face Slowbro next. Cloyster's Supersonic wears off quickly, and while the opponent spams Amnesia, Chips slowly but surely defeats it. Our fish doesn't deal that much with his water-type moves, so we go for physical attacks instead. Jinx goes down with a couple of Body Slams, and now we're off against Lapras. Chips attacks, does decent damage, but then Lapras goes for Confuse Ray, and of course it hits. I'm forced to heal Chips up or risk losing against the first Elite Four, and we can't have that. Chips snaps out of his confusion, only for Lapras to use Confuse Ray again, and Chips attacks himself once more. But on the next turn, Chips shows who's more annoying and takes out Lapras with a crit. We're up against the second Elite Four, Bruno. This battle is a no-brainer, and I knew from the start he'd be the easiest and quickest Pokémon League member to beat. Onix goes down, Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee soon follow. The second Onix meets the same fate. His last Pokémon, Machamp, is the only exception and doesn't faint with a single hit KO, but instead of attacking us, Bruno wasted his turn by giving Machamp a Nix defend. Chips shows no mercy and we got our second victory. It's time to face Agatha. She's tough. The battle begins with Gengar outspeeding us and putting Chips to sleep with hypnosis. On the next turn, Gengar uses Dream Eater, which also crits. I use a full restore to heal both those HP and the status condition. Finally, Chips has the chance to attack back. Take that, I hope Chips' dreams make your tummy hurt. Golbat is next, but one Blizzard is more than enough to take care of him. Haunter doesn't go down with just one Surf, and we're lucky because it goes for Dream Eater, so it misses. I still hope you also get an Indigestion, you meanie. One more Surf and it's Arbok's turn to get one shot. It's time for the second Gengar to enter the battlefield. It's a repeat of the first Gengar. This one outspeeds us too and puts Chips to sleep, but now I know your strategy and I won't let you snack with Chips' dreams. For the second time I use a full restore to cure him and to heal him up to full strength. But then Gengar goes for Confuse Ray, and binge, I hate Agatha. I go for full heal, because I don't want to relive the battle against Lorelei all over again, but it's useless. We'll have to keep the confusion and do our best. Gengar goes for Confuse Ray, Chips hurts himself, Gengar uses Confuse Ray, and Chips puts us all out of our misery and puts an end to this battle. Thank you, Chips! We're now up against Lance, and even if Chips has Blizzard, I'm still kind of intimidated by his dragons. Nothing compared to Agatha though, unless his dragons have Confuse Ray and Hypnosis. In that case, I will not be responsible for Chips' actions, or mine. Lance leads with Gyarados. Chips' Blizzard takes a little more than half of Gyarados' HP. Next, I use Hydro Pump. It's not enough to take Gyarados down, and before fainting, it uses Leer on Chips. Next is Dragonair, a couple of Body Slams, and it's dead. The second Dragonair is Master. It deals a lot of damage before going down. I didn't think Aerodactyl would be faster than us. I know, stupid, but thankfully Vaporeon doesn't have to pay for my mistake and Aerodactyl is taken care of. And now Dragonite. Chips' health is too low, so I heal him up with a max potion. It uses Dragon Dance and we brace for impact. That's it? That's anticlimactic. One Blizzard and we have defeated Lance. And now the battle that will choose the champion. This time, thankfully, we're not overleveled, and here it is, the final battle of this run. Ta-da! The champion of the Kanto region and the champion of my heart, fish and chips. I did not expect to beat the Elite Four in one try. Chips, you're awesome. I also did not expect to beat this game so easily, but Vaporeon is strong indeed. One more thing I did not expect was for him to have such a high speed stat, and that meant a lot of critical hits too, since we outspeeded most of our opponents. Besides, Chips only fainted once and I couldn't be prouder of him. The challenge took me only a few hours, but Chips has grown so much on me, even if he's like 8 pixels in total. So yeah, it's been a fun and quick challenge to start off the channel and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and a comment and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it if you could tell me how I did for my first challenge. And if you want, you can also check my Twitter where I post art and stuff. Chips will check. No, just kidding. I can't wait to bring you more Pokemon challenges and have fun with you guys, and I'm already working on the next challenge. I'm going to give you one hint. Shiny Pokemon. Okay then, stay safe and have a great day. See you!